Columbia River Gorge and going on the Coyote Wall hike.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to catch some wildflowers, right, babe?
I think so. They are the same wildflowers that are blooming on the top of Dog Mountain.
Yeah, it's the end of the season for the wildflowers, and I don't know, I seem to be catching them still, so hopefully we will too.
I have driven by this beautiful ridge and valley formation for years and years and years, and I always wondered which hike that was, and I recently discovered it is the Coyote Wall hike, so it's going to be a beautiful day today.
So we drove out here and we got out of the car. It was sunny, it was beautiful. It's been so lush driving all the way here, and then we're putting our packs on. It started raining.
Got out of the car, we loaded up our gear, got ready, started walking, and it started drizzling quite a bit. So we are looking at doing our plan B now.
Plan B.
Always have to have a plan B.
Gotta have a plan B. We don't have a plan B, do we?
I think it's probably going to be something on the opposite side of the river, because we are on the north side of the Columbia River Gorge, right across from Mosier. So we will drive across the Hood River Bridge and most likely do something on that side.
So we didn't get to go on our hike on Coyote Wall because of these clouds that you probably see, but it's a beautiful and peaceful day here at Tom McCall Park, where there are some purple wildflowers blooming, and the river looks amazingly beautiful behind us.
So that last green patch on the hill across the river over to that side is basically Coyote Wall that we were going to go hike at, that we got blown off because of the rain. So this was our plan B, Rowena Crest, and beautiful day. You can't see this, but right here there's a hawk just flying around in the thermals.
Here we are at Tom McCall, surrounded by wildflowers. We're seeing new wildflowers every time we turn a corner.
Get ready for an amazing view here.
What?
We're gonna spin around. We're gonna try to get it. All right, look at that.
I fell off.
Columbia River Gorge, you okay?
Yeah.
That's looking north at the Washington side. All right, we are very new to vlogging here. And we're thinking about things to say to be creative and the ultimate tour guide, like we see with many people. And we just can't think of anything to say.
Nothing to say.
We're not prepared. We don't have a script. We're just trying to wing it. So
the hills are alive.
Yes, with the sounds of Griswold. So we're just going to be walking in this beautiful environment.
So we were here like a year ago, and you almost got bit by a rattlesnake.
Yes.
What'd you learn? Because
right
you
behind
had, researched it, right?
Yeah, right behind the camera. I was walking down the trail, and I was hearing this weird metallic buzzing sound that sounded like an old wind-up toy that I had, or one of those grasshoppers. And so I was looking in the field to see where that was coming from, and I walked past the buzzing sound, and then I stopped, and I'm like, that's weird. So I came back to look at it, and what I didn't realize is there was a rattlesnake that was making the sound, and I literally walked 6 inches away from a coiled up rattlesnake, and it was probably about 1.5 feet long. And what I've heard was that when rattlesnakes are small, they're actually more dangerous because they can't gauge how much toxins they put into you, so they put as much as they can, I guess. So it got me interested in thinking, what would happen if I would have gotten bitten? And I did some research, and from what I've seen is that really they don't want you to walk out. They want you to call a helicopter evacuation and take you out to a hospital. And the closest hospital around here that I researched out is at Hood River, and they have anti-venom there because I guess people get bitten around here.
So we gotta be careful here. And we're here at the gorge, which is like pretty much our backyard because it's maybe an hour or so away from my house in Portland. So we can come out here easily anytime in the late afternoon, even on a weekend, stop in Hood River, have some sushi, even some dairy-free, sugar-free ice cream, and just come out to a spot like this, which is amazing.
And this direction here is looking straight east towards Eastern Oregon, and on that side is Washington. This side that we're on right here is Oregon. And there's probably a lot of people that don't know the significance of what caused this. And basically there was this glacier outburst flood that came out from, I guess, the Montana-ish area called the Missoula Flood. And it came throughout this whole area as a big, huge avalanche of rocks, debris, ice, and water just plowing through basically the Cascade Range, which is what this is. And it goes from basically, Idaho-ish all the way to the Pacific Ocean by Astoria.
Yeah, when you're flying home back to Portland, it's usually, you see the mountains, you see the gorge, you know you're home.
Yeah. As the plane's coming in to land in Portland International Airport, if you look straight south, you're basically coming in at about 10,000 feet, and you're right at virtually the summit height of Mount Hood to the left side of the plane, which is like 12,000. I think it's actually 11,000 feet, Mount Hood, 11,000 and change. It's just such a beautiful approach to an airport. It's amazing.
And there are hikes on both sides of the gorge, the Washington side and the Oregon side, but we had some horrible fires a couple years ago, so a lot of the trails leading up to this area are still closed. The fires were so bad, there's a lot of destruction, there's still, what's that called when they're regerminating the forest area? I don't know. I don't know what that's called. But there was ash on my porch, like just in my porch area. If you left it for more than 2 minutes, the table out on my porch would be covered with ash.
This happened two years ago, and basically it burned something like 10 to 12,000 acres, and the fires with the embers flew across and started burning on the Washington side. And still 2 years later, you can't go into these areas because there's not enough foliage that's keeping the grounds in, and because we get a lot of rain in Oregon, the Pacific Northwest, it's very, very hazardous. So most of the hikes are still closed 2 years later on the Oregon side, so we have to go to the Washington side, although this is on the other side of the gorge, basically the end of the main gorge hiking area where we're at right here. We're probably, 10 miles straight east of Hood River.
Yeah.
So we're hoping they're going to open them up soon, but I guess it depends on their assessment of how much the foliage has grown back to keep the dirt in place.
Yeah. So the hikes that are closest to us in Portland are mostly closed, and we come a little bit further, which still is, it's still our backyard. It's still really easy to get here, and we got here late afternoon, and it's just beautiful to walk around.
Yeah. And back on the subject of the ash coming down when the fires were burning, even 30 miles straight west of the fires, I could see the ash coming down, and I can actually hear the ash coming down. So the air quality was just really bad then. But hopefully things will get back to normal, and we can get back out hiking in these great places.
Yeah, and that ash and the exhaust from the forest fires, I know impacts a lot of people's health. Not just the air quality that people are breathing in the moment, but people who have chronic infections, that exhaust can actually be a trigger. So a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest got extra sick during that time. And there was a lot of anger about the whole situation because it was started by two boys?
I think so. They were at the Eagle Creek campsite that's on the Oregon side. And I think they were just playing with fireworks.
Yeah. Sad.
We're talking about ash on May 18th, 1980 is when Mount St. Helens, which is straight that way, erupted. And I can't imagine how that would have been for people because it was just literally black ash in the air all over the place.
That's the Washington side over there, and those are the clouds and the rain that we averted by leaving Coyote Wall today to come over here to the Oregon side. And you can see that there's rain clouds all the way over there and all the way across along the Washington side. But here on the Oregon side, there is blue sky and sunshine.
Plan B.
We do.
And I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's probably going to be on the opposite side of the river.
That's what I was thinking. Your arm was like right in front of my face.
Think it like this?
The hawk.
This is right. It's right here. It's flying.
We are heading off to the Columbia River Gorge and going on the Coyote Wall hike.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to catch some wildflowers, right, babe?
I think so. They are the same wildflowers that are blooming on the top of Dog Mountain.
Yeah, it's the end of the season for the wildflowers, and I don't know, people seem to be catching them still, so hopefully we do too.
I have driven by this beautiful ridge and valley formation for years and years and years, and I always wondered which hike that was, and I recently discovered it is the Coyote Wall hike, so it's going to be a beautiful day today.